Hello, welcome everyone to the Hungry Bleek podcast. I am Antonio Pomares, and Happy New Year. All right, so this is the first episode of the new year. This is pre-recorded. I don't know if I'm going to be doing live shows as regularly as I was. Hopefully, I will, but right now I'm going to be doing some pre-recorded stuff. So there will be some live, and there will be some pre-recorded. Depends on my scheduling and what's happening in life, obviously. Um, it's 2023. I still feel like I'm trying to figure out 2020, hell 2020, hell 2019 even. But we're here. It's okay. It's a new year. Hopefully it's a new start for a lot of us, more positive start. Um, we can just go from there. There's been a plethora of comics that have come out since I've last done reviews. And I want to get back into the fray. I want to get back into it. I want to start being more consistent. Which is why I'm doing more pre-recorded because that's going to help me out a bit more. And I'll have them scheduled to drop um, Fridays at 8 p.m. I figure that's easy. I also have been streaming, been getting back into that. I'm trying to get my sea legs back into this thing of content because of everything that's happened in my life. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you can go back and listen to a couple of episodes where I actually talk about it, of what's been happening with my mother's recovery, which is going incredible. I that that woman is yeah. I mean, if sayings were real, I swear it's. She would have been saying yeah, definitely. It's going very well. I'm so very proud of her. And everything that she's done, and mentally and physically getting back into it. And she's stronger and she's been doing more. There's still more work to be done, but the progress that she's made is incredible because she not only needs to get better, she wants to get better. She has a desire to get better. She's trying to do everything she can to get better. And I think it's great. Awesome. So, yeah, like I said, in that time, there have been a plethora of comics that have come out. Um, I've talked about some of them on Fandom Initiative, which will be coming back eventually. But again, life is just there for myself and for my partner, Michael Williams, the cinema CEO, the cinema God. It's been a while since I've done that. Kind of hurt my shoulder a little bit. But yeah, so I'm going to give you some of the ones that have come out more recently, and then I'll try to work my way back, kind of, sort of, maybe. I don't know, or I'll just dabble in there. Um, I'm going to be giving you like three of the more current releases. Then I'm going to give you one that's like a Flashback Friday pick, one that's at least 5 years old, a comic that I was just like, wow, this is great, it's awesome, really enjoy it. So yeah, so let's get into it, folks. All right, so and I'll be giving you comic book news as well, but right now I'm doing reviews because it just feels right, feels nice, and I'm digging it. All right, so comic book reviews that we've got going on. First one I'm gonna hit is Book of Slaughter. This is a one shot um, that's from the Something is Killing the Children series. If you know that series, there's Something is Killing Children, and there's the spinoff from that is House of Slaughter, which tells you it was an anthology series, almost like different arcs are about different characters and different, even colored masks in the House of Slaughter. The world is incredible, and Book of Slaughter is almost like it's a story, but also a um a uh, a source material book, like almost like a miniature Bible for this series and for this world. And if you're interested in this world and everything, it's incredible. We've got writer is James Tinian the fourth, illustrator is Werther del Hedera, colorist is Miguel Muerto, letterer is and world design, and this is published by Boom Studios. This is incredible. Like I said, it's a mix of a story and source material. So you're getting a story of one of the white mask hunters in the House of Slaughter, who has who was there at spoiler alert, who was there at Aaron's death, and we're getting the story of this hunter and how they're thinking of changing from a white mask to a black mask. Now, white mask hunters are ones that hunt monsters, but they hunt in packs. where Black Mask are a more elite hunter, where they hunt solo and they hunt monsters and the more treacherous monsters. Uh, this book gives you details of all the different masks. We're in the I want to say the previous arc of the actual comic of Something That's Killing Children. They tell you about the different masks and what they do, but this actually breaks it down more, and it tells you about the different masks and their duties and how they even pick. It goes from the initiation and all the different trials that children have to go through, how they pick the children, what each of the masks mean, what they do, how rare they are, and each of their rankings as well. Incredibly depth of story. You get all this information, but you're also getting this incredible story about this character and deciding what they're going to do. Even the cover is beautiful. It's the character standing there, and you see a black mask and a white mask, and you see two hunters. I believe it's Erica Slaughter, who has been the hero for us. Excuse me. And then the other person, I believe, is Cecilia, who is a white mask hunter. And you see the two of them and the character in between. And the character is holding Aaron's bloody black mask. And it goes from there. I love the story, this little mini story. I don't want to see more of this character. I want to see what's going to happen because the black masks are very rare in House of Slaughter. So with this character coming in, I want to know if they're going to be possibly taking over the story because of what's happening with Erica, or if this was just a story to drive the point of the source book and what you go through with it, because you're actually reading the source material, the Bible of the Order of St. George, as the character is. I loved it. I was sitting there riveted. I want to say like I said, it's a one shot, maybe about 60 pages. I was lucky enough to go to my local comic book shop, the Comic Crypt. Thank you very much to you guys, and they had one of the virgin cover, which is a really creepy term for a cover. A virgin cover basically is just a cover that doesn't have any print on it. It's just the artwork. You know how a cover will normally have the artwork, like say this, or normally you'll have the artwork and you'll have the print and the titles and everything like that. For those of you listening to the audio, I'm pointing to a comic. Well, a virgin cover has nothing. It's just the artwork. You still get everything inside as far as like all of the dialogue and the credits and everything like that, but you just get the artwork on the front. They're very beautiful. Yeah, it's just amazing, and I loved it. It's Something's Killing Children. This universe is so in depth and so well done and so creative and action, and you get the horror aspect, you get the thrills and chills, you get legitimate suspense and tension in this book. Go grab this. It's enough. If you're a fan of Something That's Killing the Children, please go and get this. It's definitely worth the buy, seriously. The next one is Trojan. This is when I said Trojan, I automatically heard Trojan Man. That's an old thing that shows. I'm 45, so bite me. Yeah, just turned 45, so bite me. Okay, this is Trojan. This is from writer is Danielle Krauss. Artist is Lacey. Colorist is Marco Lesco. Letterer is Sal Cipriano. Hope I'm saying that properly. And this is from publisher AWA Studios. Trojan is basically a story of a world where was populated by humans and fae. Fae are the fairy folk. I think the legend says that they're supposed to be the children of Uberon. I wonder if I'm getting that correctly or if I'm just remembering it from Gargoyles, the animated series, but whatever. And humans end up taking over, and the fae just decide to leave humans and their gross ways and live on the fringe. So it's a world where there's still fae, and the fae are discriminated against. They're beaten. They're basically hate crimes against the fae. They're beaten. They're tortured, like in the middle of the street. The world is rampaged. Suicides are rampant. Unfortunately, it's just a very dark, bleak, gritty. Like when I was reading this, I actually felt dirty and scummy because of what was happening in this world. And it's the story of this young girl who's trying to find someone to help her to get money for her mother who is sick and dying, and she meets this hacker who's on the dark web. And if you know the dark web, you know there's a lot of nasty stuff going on there. Don't mind me. I'm just drinking from my Hiei mug and also wearing a Hiei t-shirt. Is this too much Hiei? I don't think so. Is this too much Hiei? No, it's not. There's never enough Hiei, honestly. I'm actually excited about the new Yu Yu Hakusho series that's going to be coming out. Yes. So at the end of the comic, there is a kind of twist, I guess. But before the twist, there's actually a moment where it's very dark and you go, oh, this is the world that we're in, where you will be willing to do this to get the money to save a loved one, a family member. I enjoy AWA Studios. Their stuff has been really cool. One of the comics that really hit me, this Young Hero comic called Erratic, which was awesome. Loved it. But I really get into their stuff. Also, they did Primos, which I loved, which is about three cousins who end up finding out that they are descended from aliens and that they have these powers and they're here to save the world. I hope that series actually comes back and does some more because it was awesome. Loved it. Art was really beautiful too. And to see Latinx leads in something was great. This story is, yeah, even the art is very dark, gritty, nasty, and I liked it. It felt it felt like something that I would see on TV. It felt like something that I would definitely see um, on probably AMC Plus, possibly. Hoping that's where it possibly will go. But even if it stays in print like this, if it stays as a comic, I'm digging it. It really had me because just the fact of having Fae and different types of Fae, where you know, mermaid, centaur, geez, minotaur, centaur, you know, just all those fair folk people. I love it, and it's a very dark title. Like I said, full disclaimer: if you are bothered by anything like grittiness or mutilation or suicide, and that will possibly trigger something in you, I wouldn't recommend getting this title because there are moments of that in this title. It does get very dark, like I said, and this was the first issue, so it can possibly get even darker. I loved it. I'm not gonna say, oh, you know, it was great. I really enjoyed it. It hooked me. The cover itself hooked me. Then the story about Faye, and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Then seeing the ending, I was like, oh, and that final page, the art was beautiful. I loved. I'm a purple fan, and there was definitely some purple in there. I loved it. So yeah, I would definitely check that out. I believe it's going to be 4 issues. It looks like. I don't know if there's going to be a second series, excuse me, or second season or second arc. Everybody's got a different way of saying it. Series is more an English BBC thing, which I've kind of adopted because I watch a lot of BBC and I really love their saves. Seasons. I know DC Comics started using seasons instead of saying arcs, which is smart because it can help you out. Because I think people understand seasons more than arcs. I don't know. But it's also like new terminology, which I dig. Arc is just for me. Like I said, I'm older, 45, so I've been reading comics for a while. So arc just makes sense to me. Whichever way you go, I hope they come up with another part of this because it's really cool. Like I said, 4 issues so far. See where it goes. So yeah, Trojan, definitely check it out. Last one is Mosley. This really, this was really cool. Mosley. This is from writer Rob Guillory. Excuse me. Illustrator is Sam Lofty. I love the sound of that last name. Sounds cool. Colorist is Jean-Francois Boulot. I hope I'm saying it properly. And publisher is Boom Studios again. Hey, look, a show with no image titles. Well, who would have thunk it, right? Okay, so this is the story of the beginning is actually really cool. It's a story of a man named Mosley who walks into this cabin. He leaves his wife and his young daughter behind. He's going to spend a year away from them as part of this experiment. He says goodbye to them, or I'll see you later, and goes into this cabin. And sitting at the table is a robot, and he's having a conversation with the robot. And it turns out the robot is supposed to learn from him. So it's an experiment. And they have this really interesting conversation, and it involves metaphors. And how some things don't translate. Even though you can know a term, it doesn't translate well to you because of how you understand it, how you process it, which I thought was great. Then it skips ahead, and Mosley is now this janitor in a building, and it's a cleanup, and it turns out technology has taken over. Find out humans actually handed over the reins of Earth to these new gods, these new tech gods that they created, and told them, "Look, you take over. We'll do what you want." And he hates it. You will begin after a certain point. You're going to find out why he hates it, and he leaves to go and spend time with his daughter, who's now grown up, and she actually works in this field, and she's working with AI and these tech gods, and he's upset, and she knows it, and he gets very, very upset at her job. He hates her job, but they're having dinner, and he gets upset, and she tells him to leave. He leaves, and you find out, yeah, this world's just been taken over. We hand over the reins, and even the young kids, he gets robbed by this, I want to say, maybe 5, 6 year old, and like this little hover thing with these two robot like goons, and he gets robbed. And that's when the story takes this really, really cool turn. And it felt almost like a mythical thing. I think there's going to be something mythical that happens in there. And there's this great fight scene, and there's a point before the event happens. The robot goons are beating him up, and he's laying on the ground. He's like, I just want to apologize. I just want to, I feel like my life is about to end. And then all of a sudden, there's like a crack of thunder, I want to say, or lightning, and he's revived, and it goes from there. Yeah, this has a lot. It starts out really like that premise is really cool, and you find out that they wanted they needed help cleaning up um the sky and pollution and the ozone and everything and global warming, and that's why they were trying to work with technology. And then it kind of just went from there. I think what happened was that they ended up the technology ended up happening and helping, and they got rid of global warming, and then they were like, look, technology is handling this better than we can. Let's hand over the reins to them. And that's where it kind of goes awry, possibly. This speaks a lot to where we're at right now as far as humanity. Um, we have all this technology. I mean, you can even look at AI and the quote unquote AI art that's happening, and quote unquote AI artist, and where that it's not just an a let's say ethical thing, but it's also a philosophical and also legal issue. Like it's a very layered issue with AI. It always has been. And yeah, I made like when it first came out, a bunch of us made the joke, and I made the joke about Skynet coming. Skynet, obviously. But now it's becoming real because technology is there. I mean, we found out about really a lot about technology even more during the pandemic. We found out how easy it can be and how everything became so easy for us to operate. And I mean, you want to think about it, we walk around with a computer in our pockets, smartphone, which are way smarter than most of us, honestly. So, yeah, this was really cool. I don't know how many issues this is going to be, but I need this story, and it's awesome. Rob is actually the one behind Chew, Farmhand, which everybody keeps talking about, which I need to check out because it looks awesome. But yeah, so those are my choices um, for this week. I really just enjoyed these. There are more comics that are be coming out, but these three are the ones that hit me the most. I mean, and these are ones with first issues, but I guess Book of Slaughter isn't really a first issue, but it is. Yeah. But there are other comics that are still out. There's Grimm that's going to keep coming out. Captain America, Symbol of Truth, which I want to hit upon because yeah, that one's dope as hell. I love where it's going. There are all these new comics. I mean, there's Enid, which I have the book behind me right now, The Rule of the Nine. Um, there's Shattered, which is from Ray Comics, and and Dream Fury Comics. This is Newton Lelevoix and TJ Sterling. Incredible stuff. I need to get into that. I have all these comics. On this Her, which is out of Wingless Comics, which is based on the novels by Malachi Bailey, which just came out. I have all these comics from indies to Marvel that are here, and I need to read them all, and I'm trying to get through them all, but so are a lot. So I'm going to have some more stuff coming out for you. All right. Now let's do, look, folks, I mean, I think you already know. Okay. Let's do the Wellness Check Friday. Look, are you okay? Are you all right? How are you feeling? It's a new year. So take this opportunity to not necessarily say new me, new year, if that's what you want to do, what have you. But are you drinking your water? Did you take your vitamins? Did you take your medication? I'm not trying to police you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I want you to be the best you that you can be. Okay? That's very important. Start the new year off right. Start it off right. I'm working on it myself. I figured out a lot of things, and I was like, oh, this is what I have to do to be better, to feel better, because I'm a caregiver to my my mother right now, and she's recovering wonderfully and she's getting better and better, but I also need to take care of myself and to my future partner, and I think that's important that we do that, because you want to be the best you that you can be for whoever's out there and whoever loves you, and that's important. All right. Yeah, so let's go to our Flashback Friday pick. Folks, this is one that I love. I've talked about 100 times, ironically, if I say that. And this is 100 Bullets. This is out of DC Comics, obviously. This is writer is Brian Azzarello. This is artist Eduardo Rizzo. Colorist, I should say, Grant Golish and Patricia Mulvey. Mulvihill? Mulvihill? Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay. Letterer is Clem Robbins, and publisher is DC Comics. This used to come out of the old Vertigo Comics line, which was by DC. Simple premise. You've been wronged. You've been in jail, what have you. Something wrong happened to you that you did not do. You are innocent of. Old man comes up, sits next to you, and says, "Hey, Antonio, I know this did happen. It sucks. Tell you what if I told you that I could give you this back? What if I told you that here in this briefcase is all the information you need to get your life back, to prove your innocence? And there's also a gun with 100 bullets, 100 untraceable bullets that you can do whatever. Once the law enforcement sees these bullets, they're going to walk away from the case. What would you do?" That's the premise. But that's only where it starts, and it goes deeper after that. One of the best comics out there. It's actually 100 issues as well. There are 13 trades, and I believe there are 5 omnibuses, octopi, do or die, semper fi. Yeah, all the words that end with I. One of the best out there. If you're watching this and you're listening to this, hopefully you probably already read it and you love it. Starts out as this, what would you do? And it becomes this really gritty crime drama, and even works in the old story of Roanoke. So a crime drama that delves into Roanoke and has this really great premise. It's awesome. I love it, and I think you will too. That's my Flashback Friday pick. Cool, outstanding. So let's go with food, because my stomach's starting to growl. I'm getting hungry. Let's go with it. Where's my plate? This one is Black Iron Burger. There are 3 of them throughout Manhattan, I believe. Love this place. I was walking around Manhattan one day, just happened to see the sign. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Then I went in, checked it out. Bam, I was hooked. They have the most delicious French fries. They're like shoestring thin French fries, but they're delicious, awesome, incredible aioli. I loved it. It was just, oh, and the burger I loved was a salmon burger, where they even put shredded dried seaweed on it, along with the I want to say it was a tartar sauce aioli mix. Oh, I think they actually have sweet potato fries, but they have different types of fries, different types of sauces and aiolis, and they have a great list of ciders and beers. Like I went there, like after I went there that first, I was like, cool. I went there on a free comic book day with a few people. Then I went there with my cousin. Then I started doing. I would go there after doing a Stranger Membrane show, and I'd be walking around the city. I would come up from Brooklyn, from doing the show because the studio was there. I'm from Brooklyn. I'd go comic book shopping. I'd be walking around, and I'd go, you know what? I need to go somewhere to eat. I need to sit down. I need to read a little bit. I need to get, possibly an adult beverage in me and some food. Where am I going? Decided to go over there a couple of times. Sat down because it's maybe about 4 blocks from Penn Station, so it works out perfectly. Sat down at the bar, ordered the food, sat there reading. Incredible. I've had their turkey burger. I've had their, the regular beef burger. I've had a couple other burgers. I'm trying to remember what it is. Love this place. Really great food. Um, Glad to see that they came back from the pandemic. I think at a time I think there was some issues there or such, what have you. But glad to see that they're back. They're here. They're strong. They're still standing. I don't know why I keep saying that in podcasts. Doesn't even make any sense sometimes. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I definitely love their food. It's delicious. And I'm happy to always talk about the food there, So there you go. So geeking on a budget. Sorry I'm kind of rushing through this, folks, but I'm trying to get my pacing back, and y'all know I love a short show. Nobody wants to hear me talk for 2 hours just by myself. Well, actually, somebody did say they would listen to me talk for. Never mind. I don't even want to talk about them. I'm not even going to bring that up. Thank you. Geeking on a budget. So this is the segment where I tell you about ways where you can save money and still get more bang for your buck. Dollar, ruble, pound, doubloon, kugaran, yen, peso, whatever money you're using in whatever area you're in. So when Comixology really bonded with Amazon, and you had to go on a website, they started something that I didn't really notice until maybe October or so. There's a rewards program. So when you buy comics on there, it'll actually say this is X amount of points for your rewards program. If you click on it, it'll tell you about the rewards program. It'll tell you how many points you have, how much you need to get to the next amount. You'll have an option on there where you can redeem them. And I really thought this was great. And I was experimenting, and I ended up using it. Obviously I buy a lot of comics because I have subscriptions on there, stuff like that. I buy a lot of comics. So I said, okay, so redeem. It'll actually go towards comics that you pre-ordered that are part of your subscription as well. That are your subscription, your digital pull list, let's say, that are there. And it'll go towards that. You can put it towards your purchase. You just have to go onto it and say redeem, so you can then put it into so you can make them active. I thought this was a really great idea. Also, something that I noticed, which I hadn't really realized, is if you have a subscription or you pre-order something, you have the option of it'll go to your library, obviously, but you also have the option of it automatically downloading to whatever device you're using, whether it's your phone or your tablet. It'll automatically go to that device. So when midnight comes, because actually the comics started coming through at midnight now, not at 3 a.m., which is what they were doing for East Coast. It's at midnight, or maybe, excuse me, folks, or maybe a little after midnight. And it'll download automatically. Like if you go on, you'll see, this comic is there. If it's a device that you want it to download to, it'll actually show it downloading, or it'll already be downloaded. And it'll give you all the list of devices that are associated with your Amazon account and with your Comixology account. I thought that was really great. I loved it. That's awesome to me. Because you can because sometimes, honestly, there's so many damn comics. You're like, oh, I forgot that he was even coming out, and you go, oh, it's already on my tablet. It's a nice thing. It's a really great option. I love it. I think it's cool. It's awesome. So yeah, there's a rewards program. Check it out. You may even have points and not even realize it because it goes for Amazon. It goes for Kindle as well. Like your Kindle books that you buy. It doesn't go for anything that you rent. Like if you are just borrowing something from Comixology Unlimited or Kindle Free, it doesn't go for theirs. Only for the actual purchase of books. Yeah, and I thought that was really cool. I don't know if it goes for other things besides that, but I know it goes for comics and trades and novels, books, anything like that. So check that out, because again, you may have used it and not even realized it, folks. So let's go with the Bleek perspective, folks. Okay, so it's a new year. We all want to be that new year, new me. People have been made fun of for it. Look, if you do new year, new me, if that's what helps you to motivate, then do it. You see a lot of stuff about people going to the gym. Oh, me on my way to go and be somebody's way at the gym. I know that actually is kind of funny. But if you're starting out and that's your first day, cool, go with it, do it. Whatever you got to do to feel good at the start of the year, because we've had a rough few years, haven't we? We've lost a lot of people. We've lost a lot of ourselves. So if this is your chance to start out fresh, go forth and do it. If it's you going to the gym, if it's you, worrying about more of your body and your soul, you do it. Because it's good for you. I think it's amazing. I think you're amazing. I think it's incredible. And I'm proud of you. So get yourself on track. Feel good. Feel safe. Feel awesome. Feel humble. But just as long as you feel good, you feel possible, that anything is attainable, I'm proud of you. But, what do I know? That's just my bleak perspective. And I'm just going to sip out of this Hiei mug. Because, that's what I do. But let me ask you a question, folks. Are you with me? Are you with me? Yeah, I think you are. And on that note, I'm going to say, everyone, have a very enjoyable day. I hope it is the best day you can possibly have. I hope it's an awesome day. And just do the best you can with what you got, because in the end, that's all that we get, folks. I'm Anthony Pomares. This has been the Hungry Bleek podcast. I appreciate you. Feel more than free to go and look back at older episodes. If this is your first listening to me or viewing of me, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm also on Twitch. I started streaming again. Destiny 2 is the game that's getting me, but I'm thinking about streaming maybe the Division 2, which I used to do, maybe Spider-Man, just swinging around New York, what have you. Whatever I can do to have some fun and just be out there and feeling myself a little bit. All right. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy it. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Oh, and the shoulder action will be happening in a little bit. Y'all already know. You ready?